You guys shot a pilot and it didn't get picked up?
We shot a pilot, and the pilot was a much different show. There were two parents. They were completely different parents. Ted Wass was not in the show. You remember that? And
Really?
Yes. And they had to retool. And they thought, you know what? It didn't. I mean, it worked, but I guess it was just. It didn't have enough. It wasn't different enough. Okay, it felt more like Growing Pains or more like these other shows that were out there with the family and the friend and the lead girl. That was the same. But I was in it. Jenna was in it. But then they said we need to switch it up. So then they said we need to be a little edgier and a little bit more like hip and cool. So they decided to have a divorced family. The mother left the family. She abandoned the family, which
Which was such a huge thing
for
during that
sure.
time to have that.
Right. I mean, you had seen fathers typically like, my dad left me, but you'd never seen the mother just say, you know what, I don't want to be a mom. And she left and followed her music career and went to Europe and literally abandoned the family to the point where she cut us off. And it was now a single father home. He was a piano player. He was he was a musician.
Yeah, he's a musician.
And he was supporting his children after his wife left him. That's it. And they found Ted Wass, who fit the bill perfectly for that. He brought this, he was still such a youthful guy, and they needed somebody youthful. The guy who originally played the father was more of like a classic, like, dad. He was great, but he was just, Ted was this hip, good-looking, long hair with an earring.
Yeah.
It was much hipper.
Yeah.
And the stakes were high because he was on his own. He had no support system. And now everybody was, and Six, I mean, came in and brought comedic relief. I mean, you brought every time she walked through the door, right? And I'll never forget the line because literally one of her first lines, there she is, one of her first lines ever.
There's
she
that.
is. Look at Jenna.
In all of my teenage angst. There I am.
Yeah, right there.
Yay.
I think you handled it well. I think
one
you handled it
picture.
well, Jenna. But and she came in and they were like, remember that line where I'm not going to do it for you because I will ruin it. But they asked her how she got her name. How she got her name Six, right?
And my line was, my father said that's how many beers it took.
That's how she got her. That's how they named her Six.
That's funny.
Yes.
That's great.
Now,
man.
this is groundbreaking.
That's really funny.
You did not see this prime time.
That is really funny.
No, I
8
know.
o'clock family programming.
That's really
for
good.
a 13-year-old to come in and say that line.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's clever. That is
Dude,
really good.
So the audience,
Yeah.
not only was it a gas, it went
Yeah.
from a gas to a literal laugh spread of like a minute and a half.
Pretty
But
crazy.
these were the kind of jokes that were
Wow.
entrusted to Six and to Joey Russo. This is the kind of stuff that we were given as young people.
Amazing.
And no one had ever heard lines like that in an 8
Amazing.
o'clock time slot. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Now make sure you go and watch the full episode on YouTube. Check out the Brotherly Love link tree and be sure to subscribe on all platforms.